Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Wendy the Web. I haven't taken, these videos in a very long time. The motivational videos, the words from the World Wide Web videos. For a couple of reasons. Trust me, I'm not unmotivated. If that's even a word. I'm not demotivated. It's just a matter of, uh, well, I can tell you the biggest reason why, and that's because of the quality of I've seen the quality of my camera deteriorate, the quality of my phone deteriorate. I've seen, this phone show me flames. I almost can't use this phone, but I've managed to stick by the mantra of do what you can, use what you have, and that's, you know, why I actually decided to make this video, because I feel like there's so many messages that are in my heart, so many things that I really want to tell the world. And one of the main reasons why I make these videos is for future generations, for you know my great grandchildren, to come across this content and see what was on the mind of their great grandfather, the person who broke the generational curse, the person who literally said that it ends with me and the family. Other than that, just work. Just recently got into a new environment, so that has been, keeping me a bit busy. We recently shot the podcast, the first episode of season 2, with my younger brother, 60 Seconds. And there's so much more coming. Just next week, the date today, I believe it's the 17th of February. So just next week, or this week rather, we're shooting some rather interesting content as well. So yeah, there's just so much that I'm about to do. I just feel like if I had the adequate equipment and adequate resources to be able to create the content that I want to create, then there's so much more that I would have done. If I had time, money, there's so much more that I would have done, but that's not even the message of this video. The message of this video is, why are you afraid of success? So many people are afraid of success. I've seen this, and it really baffles me. And I get that success is not for everybody. I get that everybody doesn't want to drive a Bugatti, a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. I get that. But I'm sure that somewhere inside of your heart, there is that urge or that itch for a better life, more fulfillment, more happiness, more wealth, more prosperity. I feel like somewhere inside of your heart there is that something that longs and needs that, actually. And I want to tell you right now that abundance is your birthright. A lot of people sell themselves short. A lot of people don't believe they deserve success. A lot of people feel like that the next person deserves it more than them. Heck no, you also deserve it. You also need to walk in the room like you own the room. You also need to have the confidence in yourself and in your abilities. And God has blessed each and every one of us with that single little, thing that differentiates us from that, makes us unique. And I've only come to realize this in the last 5 years. I embarked on this journey in 2019, and on the journey of personal development and awareness. That's the magic word, in fact. Awareness. Being aware that abundance is your birthright. Being aware that you are good enough. Being aware that you also can and also do deserve success. Walking into the room, there's a I've had a couple of mentors, and I still have those mentors. It doesn't mean that I'm not in contact with them, that they're not my mentors anymore. Mark Casetta, one of the best personal development trainers in the world. Sachin Gavanda, one of, I can't even begin to describe Sachin. Check them out on Instagram. Mark Casetta, MarCaceetta. I believe I spelled his name correctly. But then Sachin Gavanda as well. Check them out. If there's something that Sachin always taught me, is that you need to walk in the room. There's a 2mm rule. Now, this 2 millimeter rule says that every time you walk in the room, you need to walk in that room like you own that room. You need to walk in that room with all the confidence in the world. Now, the 2 millimeter rule is that if you just push your chest 2 millimeters wider, like I believe that's what he said. But if you just open up your chest and look up and your chin faces up, or you just lift your chin a bit, then you usually, because if you check some people and like how they walk, I mean, if you look at how you walk, you could see that, okay, you're walking normally, but there would be a difference if you just opened up your chest and took your chin up and walked in the room like you own the room. You need to walk into every single room like that. You need to walk in every single room like abundance is your birthright, like you deserve to be successful. And Mark Casetta always taught me that you need to pay attention, get excited, never quit. I could break that down in so many ways, but pay attention, learn from the people that you need to learn from. Understand the industry that you're in. Understand the dynamics of what it takes to reach the pinnacle or the top of that particular industry. Get excited. There will be days where it seems like whatever you're chasing is not for you. There will be days where it seems like you're never going to make it, but you need to get excited. You need to make sure that you make yourself excited. There's another mentor of mine that I'm probably going to meet this coming week. He's also from the States. His name is Byron Shrug. He always told me that you need to create your own excitement. A lot of people go around life, looking like, geez, it's the end of their world. I mean, we're all going through something. We're all going through bullshit. But if you create your own excitement, you create your own atmosphere, you create your own little exciting world. And there's different ways that you can do this. You can use music. That's why we listen to music sometimes, because it creates a certain atmosphere. It creates a certain excitement about you every single morning. You can listen to affirmations. There's so many things that you can do to stay excited, to get excited. Now that's the part. You can get excited, but staying excited is the tricky part. And all these guys have taught me all these things. And the most important thing that Mark Casetta always told me is to never quit. Never quit. Never, ever, ever quit. Like, you need to pay attention, get excited, never quit. Abundance is your birthright. Why are you so afraid of success? Why are you so... Look, we've always quit something. There's no way that you can never quit. There's no way that you can never quit. Having a plan to go somewhere and not going there, that's you quitting. Quitting an industry, quitting a job, quitting a relationship. There is some point where you're gonna have to quit, but there's some point where you can't even begin to fail. Like, you can't even never quit. And that is mostly your dreams. That itch in your heart, what you really want to achieve, is that one thing that you should never quit. Right? And I can tell you a little story. I remember in 2016, I believe, I went to trials for a professional soccer team. Like, the significance of the story is that that's when I actually quit football. And I should have never quit. Now, what happened is that I went to a professional soccer club in KZN. They had scouted me in Pretoria and said, look, you need to come over. Went there for the whole weekend, stayed at the clubhouse, and I made it throughout the whole weekend. Friday I made it, Saturday I made it, and we played a series of matches whereby after each match people got cut off. And I remember I made it to the last selection. We played one final grand match, and in that final grand match they were only taking 10 players, and there was about 25 of us, so it was 11 v11, and then there were substitutes on each team, right? And they were only taking 10. I remember that at the end of it all, when they were selecting the players, I can remember clearly Fadlu Davids, literally, because they were selecting the guys like, okay, you next, you get selected. I remember Fadlu Davids walking in my direction and literally pointing at me and said, you stand up. But because I was doubting myself, I looked to my right and looked to my left, and there was a guy behind me, and he stood up immediately and he walked. And when I tell the story to my cousin, I think, he told me that you never had confidence. You should have just stood up, bro. If you knew that it was you, you should have just stood up. But I was doubting myself, like, what, me? Am I good enough to be, like, are you talking to me? Hell yeah, they were talking to me. But for some reason, the guy behind me stood up, and I believe that literally the guy was pointing at me and saying, you stand up. So I tell you that story to say that sometimes your time will come. Sometimes they will pick you, but because you're not confident in yourself, you'll second guess yourself and feel like, I don't think I'm me. I made it, and you are good enough. And you were the one that they pointed at. But because you doubted yourself, stop doubting yourself. Stop looking at yourself in the mirror and looking at the color of your skin and looking at your environment and looking at where you live and looking at your past, your history, your background, looking at what you don't have, and thinking to yourself that it's not for me. But it's what you really want. Abundance is your birthright. Why are you afraid of success? Some of us push for so long, but when the opportunity comes, we back away. Why do you back away? Why do you back away? Why do you step back? Why do you feel like, now is the time. Now is your time. Why are you afraid of success? Why are you afraid of success? Why are you afraid of winning? Why are you afraid of becoming wealthy? Why are you afraid of surpassing everyone in your family and being the one who makes it? Why? You know that's what you want, but why are you afraid? What do you think everybody else that has made it in that industry told themselves? That I am going to cross that line no matter what. But you're just at the line, but you're afraid to cross it. Now is your time to make it in the music industry this year. Now is the time to make your first million. Now is the time to be the highest income earner in your industry, in your job. Now is the why are you afraid of taking on the top dogs? Why are you afraid of taking on the CEO himself? Become the CEO of your life. Fire your CEO. Not that that's what I'm going to do in the near future, but I appreciate where I am right now. I'm grateful for where I am right now. I just got a job, and I know that the job that I just got is literally